As a matter of fact, you're probably going to be getting requests for some of those recipes now that you've admitted you made those.
It's all up here.
I hear constantly how much people miss some of those items over there.
I've actually been thinking about driving up to Jackson, Tennessee. There's one open in Jackson, Tennessee.
Oh, is there
and
really?
I swear I've been thinking about going there just to go there.
Welcome to the official podcast of Foodies of Lafayette, where flavor meets community. A huge thanks to our chef table sponsor, Ounce of Hope. You can learn more at ounceofhope.com. Let's join our hosts, Heidi McDonald and Jason Stoner.
Hey, everybody. I'm Heidi McDonald, founder of Foodies of Lafayette. Welcome to the Foodies of Lafayette podcast. We're here today at the absolutely gorgeous Sunday Soda Fountain in downtown Lafayette, Louisiana. I'm here with my partner in crime, Jason Stoner.
I'm Jason Stoner, and I'm so excited to be here today with Sullivan Zant, head chef and co-founder of Vestal in town. What a wonderful restaurant. Welcome. We'd like to thank our partners that make all this possible, Ounce of Hope. Thank you, Colin. And Logic Refrigeration HVAC. Thank you so much, Seth.
Thank you.
All right, Sullivan, thank you so much for joining us today, taking time out of your day to do this. I'm so excited to have you because Vestal is one of my favorite restaurants in town. I think it's a lot of people's favorite restaurants. With that, let's kind of go in. I'd like to go into some of your history of where all this started. You know, even back young, I know a little bit of that. So let's start there. You know, where you really started to get into food. How old were you? What'd that look like?
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say, Jason and Heidi, thank y'all so much for having me. I'm really thankful to be here. So, man, going back. So, whenever I grew up, my family really believed in cooking a home-cooked meal every single day. It was something that we sat down at the dinner table every single evening, and we had dinner as a family. There was no, like, oh, we're going to sit on the couch, like, we're going to, like, you know, skip this. Like, no, it was something that
That's
we did.
really important.
It is, and it's something that I'm very thankful for, and I hang on to and cherish and remember and always will. But I never really cooked. Growing up, like, my grandmother would cook quite a bit, and my father would also cook quite a bit. It was something that they were both very passionate about and was very meaningful to them. But for me, it was like, you know, just something like, oh, I get to eat, you know, whatever, like, it's fine.
Yeah. Your dad is a fabulous cook.
He really is. Yeah, he
really
is.
can
Artist
cook.
and a cook. Who knew?
Oh,
I
he's
know, right?
really good.
A jack of all trades,
That's
if you will.
it.
So I didn't really spend much time in the kitchen until I got into high school. So I had been relatively, like, active. I was never, like, you know, a star athlete or anything. But I ran track, I played golf, played soccer, I did a lot, and
Did you skate?
oh yeah, and skated constantly.
Okay.
I was burning a lot of calories. I'm like, all right, I need to start eating. So then I started small like that. I started just, you know, making omelets, practicing with salads, making, like, you know, pasta, but, like, nothing like from scratch, just starting it that way. And then
Out of necessity more than
exactly,
anything.
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
it
right.
definitely wasn't a
Fair
hobby.
enough.
But I had fun with it. I'd always try to do something slightly different every time I did it to try to make it better. Or, like, you know, sometimes I made it way worse. But, you know, we learn from that, right?
Okay, what was the worst ever? What was the worst experiment?
Oh man, I don't know. I probably, like, this one time I was, like, really getting into omelets, and I had, like, this little omelet flipper thing, and I didn't use any butter because I was trying to watch fat content, and yeah, just stuck to everything. And I'm like, all right. I mean, I still ate it, but it was,
stuck to the
it was bad.
nonstick pan.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But yeah, fast forward a couple of years, and then I moved from Jennings, which is where I grew up and went to high school. I moved from there here to Lafayette for college, and at the time I moved in with my father. And Dad, as you said, is a good cook, but also he's very eclectic and very curious whenever it comes to cooking. Like, he never really cooks the same thing twice, like I had said I did. But also, like, he really taught me to, like, venture out. So I remember whenever I moved in with him, like, he was really into Thai food, which I really had.
I love Thai food.
I had no experience.
His dad is local artist John Zant, and for anybody that doesn't know, just catching y'all up.
He's a local badass is what he is.
He really is.
I always say that
he
about
really
John.
is. He really is. Just got to make sure everybody knows what we're talking about.
Right.
Sorry.
No, totally fine.
So how did that evolve? Keep going.
So he was really into Thai food at the time, and then, like, where we lived, S&P grocery was right around the corner. So we would just go over there and, you know, that was my first experience ever going to like, an Asian market or something of the sort.
Yeah.
And there's all these ingredients that I have absolutely no idea what they are. Like, and luckily the gentleman behind the counter was incredibly helpful. He was like, "What are you making?" And we're like, "Thai green curry." And he was like, "Yeah, you don't want like half of these things."
Oh yeah.
We're like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, no." He was
A
like,
little
"Oh, okay."
guidance goes a
Yes.
long way. I
Thank
love
God.
that.
Thank God he helped me. Shout out to Kirby, wherever you are. But so that was kind of how it started. And we went back home and we cooked this Thai green curry, and I was like, "Oh my God!" Like it really like opened the door for me. And we did it from this book that Dad had that he bought at Books A Million or Barnes and Noble rather, and that kind of like opened up the door as far as like being a little bit more creative. And then at that time also, so I was 18, I was a freshman in college.
You're at UL at that point.
I was, yes. And I didn't have a job yet. I think we're in like, it was like August, September, and Dad was super supportive. He was like, "Look, like you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay utilities, but like, you want to put gas in your truck, you want to do things like this, like you want to go out, like you got to get a job." I'm like, "All right." So this is what I'll never forget. I applied at 33 different places here in town.
Wow.
A lot of them being retail. I had little work experience working at our local radio station whenever I was in high school, but nothing other than that. But not one place called me back.
Wow.
Not a single one. Never got an email. Nothing.
Well, look at you now.
Right.
So my
There's
dad.
a lot of people that can relate to
Exactly.
that.
Oh, I trust
I'm
me.
wondering
I get
if
it.
that was probably a good thing for you that you weren't in retail.
So what paved the way, Dad happened to know somebody who was the kitchen manager of Coyote Blues Mexican restaurant here in town.
I remember that place.
And he was like, "Look, I can talk to Reed, can't guarantee you anything, but if I stick my neck out for you, you got to do it right." I'm like, "Okay."
Fair enough.
So
Good job, Dad.
I didn't want to be in the kitchen. I wanted to be a server. I always I thought about restaurant industry before, but I wanted to be a server. Right? That's what I wanted to do. Cooking, I enjoyed it, I guess, but it really wasn't something that I was super passionate about. So I applied. I started off as a busser. Did that for about 6 months. Then worked up to a food runner. I did that for about another 3 months. And then the kitchen manager approached me and he was like, "Sully, we got to talk." I'm like, "Oh God, what?" And he's like, "No, it's good. So we're short-staffed in the kitchen right now. We really need somebody." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not your guy." Yeah. And he's like, "No, really, I'm not joking. We like your work ethic. We really think that you'd be a good fit." And I was like, "Well, thank you, Reed. I really appreciate that."
Yeah, it says a lot.
But I was serious. I'm like, "I don't want to do this. I want to be a server." So Reed being Reed was pretty convincing, but not in he wasn't like a hard sell kind of guy. And he was like, he'll pump you up and just be like, "Yeah, I mean, I know, but I think you could do really well for it," and things like that. So I was like, all right, you got me. So how about this? Give me 6 months. I'll work in the kitchen. It'll
Fair
give me
enough.
more background information, and then I get to take my server test. And he was like, "All right, spit in the hand, handshake, done." So that was 14 years ago. And I never
Must
went.
have been something to it.
You never went back to serving.
I never went back. I never went back to front
started
house.
it.
I've been in the kitchen ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Created
Right.
a little
Yeah.
monster, huh?
Well, I don't know. At the time I was in school, and I'll never forget the feeling of just coming home, and I had this feeling of fulfillment. I'd always done relatively well in school. I was very studious and did well. I was very fortunate in that regard, but getting A's and B's felt good, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, just going in a restaurant and cooking and working hard, and it was just a feeling that I had never experienced. And
Now-
I used the word fulfillment because that was something that the only feeling I can truly equate
That's
to
amazing.
it.
There's a lot to be said for that.
It felt amazing, and I've been chasing that ever since, and I've never lost that feeling.
Wow.
That's
So
wonderful.
what did that kitchen experience look like for Coyote Blues? What kind of things were you doing to start? And
I started making quesadillas. That's all
wow.
I did. So I did shrimp Diablo quesadilla, spinach and mushroom quesadilla, chicken quesadilla, beef quesadilla, cheese quesadilla. That was about it.
Wow.
But through that, I was able to start paying attention to the stations around me, because this is in 2011. Coyote Blues was popping.
Oh yeah,
It
it's
was,
a really
yeah.
big deal. It was
Yes,
a
it
really big
was.
deal at that point.
To this
happy
day,
hour.
To this day, it's still one of the busiest restaurants I've ever worked at.
As a matter of fact, you're probably going to be getting requests for some of those recipes now that you've admitted you made those.
It's all up here. Up here.
I hear constantly how much people miss some of those items over there.
I've actually been thinking about driving up to Jackson, Tennessee. There's one open in Jackson, Tennessee.
Oh, is there
and
really?
I swear I've been thinking about going there just to go there. Yeah, and it's the same. One of the people that was originally part of it, it's the same thing.
Interesting.
Oh, I did not know that. That's great. So
another reason to go to Tennessee.
Yeah, if you miss Coyote Blues, let's go. Let's road trip
we'll have
it.
to hit that up on
We
our
can
field trip
tour
down
Ounce of Hope while we're there.
That's right.
All right. So you left Coyote Blues and you went to Dark Brew, or was it Blue Dog?
So it was at the time Brick and Spoon.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
the original location.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Over there in Collie Saloon.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
So I've been working at Coyote Blues for about 3 years, and then so fast forward from the time I started off as a busser to 3 years later, I was assistant kitchen manager. I had moved I moved my way through the kitchen.
All the ranks.
I got promoted to it at 20 years old, and I was working a lot. I was working about 60 hours a week every week at Coyote Blues for about over half a year. And during that time, I had realized that I'd kind of hit my ceiling in what I was able to do as far as creativity was concerned. And Coyote Blues is an amazing restaurant, and it taught me so much, and I realized that there's so much more to learn from a managerial perspective here, especially considering how they ran the operation as like a corporation. That's something that I like a lot. I like structure. I like rules. I like, this is how we do it. This is why we do it.
Spreadsheets.
I
got you.
That's great.
And that's so interesting coming from somebody in the kitchen. I definitely am not used to hearing that.
Need a little structure. It definitely helps.
That's interesting.
But I had hit a kind of a crossroads at that time because I realized now there's this divergence. I'm like, creatively, I really can't do much. I'm confined to what we can do. We can maybe be able to run a special, but the menu's not changing. This is what people want. Like, they don't want it to be changed. At the time, I had a server friend named Jessie LaFosse who had worked with me at Coyote Blues, and we were really close. Happened to see her out one night. I had a drink with her, and I was just kind of telling her my predicament and how I was feeling. And she suggested to come over and talk with her boss at the time, who is Corey Bourgeois at Brick and Spoon. He was the chef, and Ryan Trahan was the owner / chef as well. At the time, Corey was more hands-on, so I went, had an interview with them, and I didn't tell Coyote Blues. I scheduled around it, and I showed up to work at 6 a.m., and I worked that job 40 hours a week secretly while still working 60 hours a week at Coyote Blues for about 3 months.
Wow. John Zant's not the only badass in the family.
Right?
Yeah. I didn't want there to be any type of retribution, not to think that there would be, but I didn't want to open up the opportunity for that, and I also didn't want my hours to be cut. I wanted the money that I was making. Yeah. So I took full opportunity of it, and I rode it until I realized that, I'm ready to make a step and ultimately leave Coyote Blues. And I told my general manager that hey, this isn't about anything that I don't like here. This isn't anything against y'all. I love this place, and I'm sad to leave, but
it was just time.
It's time. As far as I want to get better at cooking. Now, I will say this: I did take a pretty big pay cut. But I realized that here's this crossroad. I can stay on this path that I am right now and make more money and continue to probably make more money in the long run, or I can leave, take a little bit less money now, but through that have an opportunity to learn more, gain more knowledge, and then ultimately use that to make myself a more well-rounded chef. Because at the time, I didn't think of myself as a chef at all. I'm a cook. You know what I mean? The idea of being a chef wasn't even there. This is just something that I enjoyed to do, and the passion was there, but I really had no idea where it would take me.
Do you feel like there was a defining moment somewhere along the lines where you went from cook to chef? I mean, just based on what you're saying, I'm hearing such a common story of a Lafayette kid. I mean, I was the Lafayette kid, except for me, it was Pizza Hut. I mean, it was different places, but the same types of things, same types of experiences. I clearly went the foodie route, not the chef route. But, do you feel like there was just one job or one moment or something in particular that happened that made you say, okay, I'm taking it to the next level? I'm not really a cook. I am a food artist.
So that I feel like there's like a twofold answer to that question. The first being that definitely happened while I was at Dark Roux. So I started at Brick and Spoon in June of 2014, and then I left Coyote Blues in September. And then I transferred fully to Brick and Spoon. But at the time, Ryan had plans to open up Dark Roux.
Okay.
And he was a part owner of Brick and Spoon as well. So through that, he was able to retain the location, and he also retained the staff and just switched the concept entirely. And this concept was hyper-local, farm to table, like
Remember that.
everything from scratch. Like it was insane the amount of time and effort that we would put into every little thing in there. We grind all of our cheese, we make all of our sauces, like we make all of our stocks. We're like,
it was such a cute spot too.
Yes, it was very intimate, very fun, and I spent a lot of hours in that building over the next year. At the time, I had just turned 21 years old.
Wow.
And I basically lived there. I mean, I was working about like 70 to 80 hours a week for that first year in 2015 that we were open. And whenever we had opened, they had given me the title of sous chef when we opened. And to be quite honest, like I didn't feel like I was a sous chef. I was like, just mainly from a creative aspect. And I'm not knocking my work ethic at all, but I didn't know enough, and I wasn't confident. You know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, like you tell me whatever you want me to do, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it well. So that was like whenever I first started feeling that, just because there's a difference between like making something that's cookie cutter, the exact same thing every single time, versus like, okay, well, this was on the menu last week, but it's not anymore because now it's out of season. So now we have to transition and make a new dish really quick and like figure it out. You know what I mean? So it was, our menu would change quite literally weekly. So it was always on your toes, always be adaptable, always be willing to change. So I definitely started feeling it there.
How did customers respond to that? How did your customers respond?
Some
to
good,
weekly...
some terrible.
It seems like it would be challenging.
Yeah, some
I've
good,
seen
some
restaurants
not so good.
close by just changing their menu.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Or
Fairs.
not changing it often enough.
Fairs
like
closed.
it goes both ways.
Yeah. That's. Who else is doing that? There's Serica's. They do that. They change their menu.
They
I think
do.
they have
They do.
lasagna on.
I love Sarika's. I've been a couple
Yeah.
of times, and oh my god, I can't say enough.
Oh
But
gosh, they're
It's
amazing.
really good. It's
They
really
are
good.
amazing.
So Ryan really kind of helped you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Ryan and Corey both, more so Ryan, really took me under his wing and just taught me everything he knew. And he's like me, like he's not culinary school educated, just takes a lot of time to read and travel and experience.
Self-taught.
Exactly. And like, the information's out there. Now I will say, like, definitely not knocking a culinary degree. Like
Sure.
it
I
teaches
get
you a
you,
lot,
yeah.
and it also opens a lot of doors. But also, like, if you're willing to take the time and make the sacrifices, you can do it. We talked before about opening up a spot called like 10,000 hours. Or was it 40,000 hours? It's the amount of hours that they say it takes for you to like really start becoming like a master of your craft.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And I mean, like I did the math a while back, and I'm like, dude, I did like 10,000 hours in cooking by the time I was like 22.
You know what though? There's so much to be said for that. There's more than one way to do just about everything.
Absolutely.
And I think, as humans, we get caught up in the way it's supposed to be way too often. It doesn't necessarily...
As simple as cutting vegetables. So I like being in the
Right,
kitchen
right.
like with Shane over at Deuce's. We're cutting up bell peppers one day, and the way he does it is like 4 times as fast as the way I was doing it, And so
Learn something
we'll talk
new
about that
every
later. I'm not
day.
going to reveal all the secrets, but I love cooking or getting in. Like to cook with him would be a freaking
Oh
dream.
my gosh,
honestly,
right?
to see what he does, and even to stand in the back of that restaurant in the kitchen and just see
You
a
don't have
busy
to stand in the
Friday, which
kitchen.
it's in the front.
Are you
I
kidding?
know it's not in the back.
Oh,
Hey,
no,
you-
that's
you
what the
can come-
window's
you can come hang out
for.
anytime,
I
man.
can hang out right there, but
I love that. That's been one of my favorite date nights. Is Wes took me to Vestal to sit in front of the window, and I get to watch
Absolutely.
and
Dinner and a
see
show.
the kitchen.
It
Yes,
is the
exactly. No, you
best.
say that, but that's exactly what it is. It is dinner and a show,
So
and
we-
you get to see behind the scenes.
We
and the
did that. We
magic.
did that very purposefully, and the whole concept behind it was we had done a lot of private catering for people within their homes, and we always found that was the most fun we ever had.
Oh, gosh,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like it's so nice to go
be
into
part of
like
it.
exactly, and people are interested. People are like want to see what you're doing, and not just like go in the back. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to see the magic happen.
Yeah. So like, and that's what we designed this restaurant around is to make you feel comfortable, like you're stepping into our home, and like you know
Yeah.
you get to watch us do what we do, and like we're a part of it.
Okay, so tell us about the ovens, if you can,
Are
just
the
a little bit.
live
Okay.
fire.
Yeah.
Live
I-
fire.
I mean, I was just so blown away by the setup that you have and watching what you do with the steaks and with the whole fish. And was it quite a production getting those in there?
Oh, it was insane.
What's the ventilation like?
It was insane.
my goodness.
The ventilation is the most expensive part of the entire restaurant. I'm not
Oh,
exaggerating.
I bet. I mean,
yeah,
live
captive air
fire.
system all the way. Shout out. No, so we use what's called a grill work system. Excuse me. So we have a wood burning oven in the center piece of it, and then we have two adjustable grills on the left and on the right side. On the right side, we'll primarily use them for all of our vegetables as well as our oven. And then for the left side of our grill, we typically use that for all of our proteins, such as our fish, pork, steaks, all that. And sometimes I'll cook directly on the grill, but more so than not, we've been cooking everything in cast iron, just because we're able to find that you can just get such an amazing sear. And I mean,
It
whenever
holds
you-
the heat.
Oh, absolutely.
A little
And
more
whenever
consistent.
you're trying to cook on yes, absolutely more consistent, and also that sear that you get, because every now and then the coals can be a little cooler, so then maybe your grill marks don't look as good as this steak as it did on 130 minutes ago. We don't want that. So instead, I use this fire that's like 1,000 degrees, literally, and just get these cast iron pans screaming hot, and yeah, it's amazing, and I will not shy away from the fact that it is insanely hot. I cannot.
I
stress
know.
that.
Do you wear any special
Nope.
clothing?
Nope, got an apron. But also, luckily, going back to Coyote Blues, my first job ever, we had a wood burning grill there. That's where we cooked all of our protein,
Really?
all the steak, fish, chicken,
wow.
shrimp.
I didn't
It was
realize that.
all on a wood burning. We all
Wow.
burned mesquite. So whenever we were conceptualizing this, I was the one. I'm like, I can do this. I'm like, I know I can because I've managed fires before and I know how to make it work. But no, it's a beast. It's a variable. Sometimes the wood's better than others. Lately, the wood's great, but it's so damn hot.
Yeah.
But
Cannot imagine.
that being said, it's fun though, and it brings me back to what I had said earlier, and that feeling of that fulfillment, that accomplishment. It feels very satisfying and almost primal even. I know that pretty much everybody out there who ever barbecues on a Sunday can tell you the same feeling of it just feels good, cooking meat on fire is
I'm sure
primal
it does.
as
I'm
that is.
completely incapable of doing it.
It's-
Okay, I've
it's awesome.
tried and tried, and let me tell you how sad I was when I burnt that beautiful fillet. I've given up. I'm done.
The learning curve is
Nope. I'll play with a gas grill now, but I'm not brave enough. The way that fire
Yeah.
behaves, it's just totally different.
It's-
That's a whole nother skill set.
it's fun. It's definitely it'll throw a curveball at you, but that's the whole thing. Is it we're trying to do things well and consistently, but we're also trying to do them a little bit differently and really take pride and set us apart. And that's one thing. I talk about using it for our steaks and our seafood and things like that, but we also use it for our vegetables, and it's something that we take a lot of pride in, as well as trying to have a lot of very fresh vegetable options.
It's seasonal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we do 6 menu changes a year, 2 major ones in spring and fall, and then 2 slight adjustments in summer and winter. But we try to use the fire to play into all of our dishes in some way, some more than others. But it's a part of who we are. It's a part of our identity.
We would like to thank our partner, Ounce of Hope, for supporting our podcast and allowing us to be here. I actually have experience with Ounce of Hope and love it. It's a light seltzer. I'm not a day drinker, and so I love going out to the pool on a Saturday, midday, having an Ounce of Hope, relaxing, and it doesn't shut me down. It makes me just the right amount of relax. So great Ounce of Hope, try them. You can find them at Total Wine. You can find them at Marcello's. You can find them at all the Rouse's stores, and they are just wonderful.
He's calling.
All right, so we're here with Sullivan and continuing our talk. So you were going to school to be an educator.
Yes,
Right.
that's correct.
And from what I understand, you've carried that forward. I know we talked at dinner not long ago, but you've carried that forward, and you really kind of run your crew differently than you've seen others run crews, and more so of an educational way. Talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. So, my grandmother was a school teacher her entire career.
Really?
Her father was the principal of the high school that she went to
Is
in
that Barbara?
Simsport, Louisiana. Yes, that is
Okay.
Barbara. You are correct. I have a couple of aunts that are also educators. It's something that's been running in my family for quite some time, and it's something that I felt passionate about. What's the point of having all this knowledge if we can't pass it on?
Right.
Right.
So I went to school for that. Ultimately, didn't finish. I dropped out and started working full time in kitchens. But I found myself really coming back full circle. You know what I mean? Because over the first 10 years of me doing this, I really was just digging and trying to find the who, what, where, why of all of this. Like there's so much to it. There's so many different global cuisines. There's so many ways to do literally anything. I can cut an onion in 20 different ways, whatever. But I want to know the how and the why. And I started focusing on that. And then since I've always been in management, but I've moved a little bit higher into management to where I truly run my own team. Every member of staff that we have in our back of house, I interview personally, I hire personally, and if necessary, I fire personally as well. I find it incredibly important to, be on the same level with them as far as what we're doing here. Education's paramount. If I want any time off, I have to be able to teach people what I'm doing. But I
That's
also,
right. Absolutely.
I want them to be able to know, not only this is what we do, but this is why we do it. And encourage,
Understanding.
And encourage more curiosity of you're new to this, but I want you to do it my way. This is how I want you to do it because this is the way that we do it. But if you have ideas or have maybe other options that we can consider.
To make it better.
Exactly. Or let me know, or more efficient or things like that.
A true team.
Exactly. And I try really hard as well in the fact of working alongside my staff. There's this term in the industry that's what they call a clipboard chef, where that's what they do. They just walk around with a clipboard and they tell it's kind of like micromanaging or helicopter managing. And, some places need that. Personally, as far as my ethos is concerned, I don't want to do that. I've had it happen. I don't enjoy it. It doesn't feel great. You lose, as a manager, you just lose touch with reality, not necessarily just with your staff, but also the nature of the business as well. You forget what it's like to be in the dish pit on a Saturday night, trying to wash all these dishes by yourself. You forget what it's like trying to come in and work a clopen shift, you know what I mean? Not get home till midnight and then come in at 9 a.m. and start it all over again. People lose touch of that. I try really hard to work alongside my staff. I don't want them to feel like they work for me. I want them to feel like they work with me and know that they have that support and that structure and honestly that just passion that, this is what we do and
That's amazing.
let's take it seriously.
I love that style.
Yeah,
I love that
absolutely.
style.
Honestly, it has worked out so well for me just because right now I have the pleasure of having the best staff I've ever had in my career.
You
And
probably retain them.
we have no turnover. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
That is
can
great
see
because
that.
that's a
That's awesome.
problem.
Yeah.
That's a
That's
problem
awesome.
in
Yeah.
town.
And there's a lot of my staff also they're people that have never cooked. There's a
Yeah.
couple of them. There's at least 3 of them that this is their first cooking job ever. And it's look, I can teach you how to cook. I can't teach you work ethic.
Yeah.
That's something that you have to have. And I'm look, if you
Absolutely.
want this, give me your time, give me your attention, and give me your respect. You already have it. You don't have to earn respect from me. I
Right.
already give it to you. All I ask
Yep.
for it is in return, and I will do everything that I can to teach you everything that I know.
Yeah.
I love
That is amazing.
It's just a whole nother version
Do you
of
have
it
any-
only costs a little more to go first class.
And it only costs a little more to go first class. Do you have any success stories yet? Has someone spun off or someone who's a rock star? Have you created rock stars in the kitchen?
Besides yourself, obviously.
mean, I know-
Right.
yeah.
Honestly, I have a lot of people that have gone on to move to other cities, and just continue working in other places. Like one of my best friends is currently in, St. John. And,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And he is, I mean, I cannot take credit for him. Like, he
Sure.
is, like, you know, he just happened to be like, you know, I was one place that he worked at. But, I mean, he called me the other day just randomly. I'm walking home at 11 o'clock on, like, a Thursday. And I answer, I'm like, hello? And he just goes, hey, chef, what's up? I'm like, oh, what's up? He's like, nothing. I'm just thinking about you. Just want to say, like, thank you for everything. Like, doing great. Like, I love my life. And, like, I really appreciate the time that we had together because, like, it really gave me, like, more perspective and had me, like, you know, an opportunity to appreciate what I was doing. Because that's something that I think that doesn't get spoken about a lot, is that there's a lot of burnout in this industry. And
With those hours, my gosh.
yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I work like 40 to 50 hours a week now. It's so much better. It's so much more manageable. But no, it just, you can get stuck in a rut. And, like, that's part of the reason why we stay creative and we try to change our menus so that we can, you know, encourage that creativity and not just go through those motions of doing the same thing day in and day out.
Well, I'm sure that's not going to be the last call you get in your life of someone
Right.
thanking you for what you've
Hopefully
done.
not.
So anyway, moving forward, I want to talk about, you've got some awards that I found. 2018 Louisiana Seafood Cook-Off, Great American Seafood Cook-Off.
So yes, so Ryan Tronhall was the exec chef for that, and I was his sous chef. So we competed locally for it. We did a crackling crusted red snapper. So basically we did red snapper with the scales still on, but we cooked it in a way to make the scales edible. And we
Well,
did,
how is that?
I
What did you do?
can't give away all the secrets.
Secret.
Come
He said
on.
we only
Text
get
me
so
later.
many
Text me
details.
later. I need to know that.
But we competed in that and took first in Louisiana. I'm like, okay, that was awesome. So
Yeah.
had a blast with that. The after
That's
party
so
was
much-
really fun.
So much better than my shrimp cocktail, my Mexican shrimp cocktail in Delcom. That didn't place at all. Anyway, go ahead. I'm still bitter about
That's all right.
that. I'm so bitter.
I've done food competitions and not placed. I know the feeling. It sucks. But yeah, we went on to nationals in New Orleans 2 months later and took first. And that was
Wow.
wild. And that opened up a lot of doors, being able to just like travel around with like Ryan. And that's one thing. Like I'm very thankful for Ryan and everything that he did as far as taking me under his wing and really like, you know, using it as a promotion for the restaurant and himself, but also for me. Like he really did so much for me in that regard, and will never forget and always be appreciative of it. But yeah, that was a wild one. And then I went and I competed in it solo last year actually, and I took second place.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the 20th.
Congratulations.
They asked me to come back this year, and I was like, no, I'll take this year off, and I'll be back next year.
What did you bring? What did you make?
So I did some pan-seared Gulf shrimp with an XO sauce, which is like a Chinese savory style sauce, almost like chili sauce. Let's see what else. I made a quick pickle salad, and I'll be honest, I can't remember what was on the bottom of it. Oh, I remember now. It was a sauce vengeance. So basically, it's almost like a beurre blanc, but it's made with vengeance, which is yellow wine. It's a French wine that's very, very unique in its taste. It's very hard to describe because it's not really like anything else that I've tried. But you basically reduce that down with like some shallot, lemon, and then mount in a ton of butter. It was
Okay.
great.
Sounds
I
That
really
sounds
loved it.
amazing. So, and then I noticed Louisiana Cooking Magazine Chefs to Watch.
Yes.
And actually sitting on a board of that, yeah?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Talking with Daniel Schumacher, who's the editor-in-chief of it, has been a blessing. He's actually picked us up. Me, outside of the restaurant, a group of my friends, we refer to ourselves as the Gravy Boys. But they did an article on us a couple of months ago, which was really outstanding. And we have another article coming out in the UL magazine, La Louisiane, in the next month or so as well.
Oh, neat.
I actually got this shirt from Parish Inc. for you, because it's the Trinity. The Gravy Boys.
See, I don't deviate too far from my roots. I don't cook a ton of Cajun food at the restaurant, but I mean, gravy's my comfort food. It's something that I love doing, so it's close to the heart, close to the home.
So, speaking of home, what's it like? What are you cooking at home?
Oh man,
Do you cook at home?
Mac and cheese?
Or are you tired by the time you get there?
Okay. Well, you asked. I'll be honest. So what I do, every now and then I'll be creative. Like the other day, I wanted like some I don't know if y'all have ever had the sausage and peppers dish from Marcello's.
Yeah.
I love it. It's one of my favorite things to eat in Lafayette. So I got the envie for that. So I made that. I didn't make my gnocchi from scratch, but I made everything else, and that was great. But realistically, what I do on a daily basis, I go to Albertsons and I buy the buy one get two free on the chicken leg quarters. You can get 15 pounds of leg quarters for like $15.
Oh, wow.
So I'll just roast all of that off, and then I'll peel it all or pick it all, and then I'll make stock with the bones, and then I'll just quart that, and I'll eat off that during the week with, like, I don't know, pickles or sweet potatoes or, like, you know, veggies and fruits. I really don't go like all out. I do a lot of my like creative cooking at work. Whenever I'm home, I'm just like sustenance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, with that, what's your favorite cuisine? What do you? Well, one, what's your favorite, and what's your favorite to cook?
Okay, that's a good question. Man, it's kind of a toss-up. I really enjoy Indian food. Like, really, really, really enjoy Indian food a lot. And then I'm also really into, I'm just keep adding on to it. I love Indian food. I love Northern Chinese food. I love Thai food specifically as well. Like, these are three areas that, like, I really gravitate towards. And if we
lots
have
of
an
flavor in all of those.
Oh,
Definitely.
Absolutely. And also, like, just something that I've found as well. Whenever I worked at Tula Tacos for a time, that was my first time like really working in a like from scratch Mexican restaurant. Like Coyote Blues made a lot of things from scratch, but a lot of these things were very like Tex-Mex with like a Cajun flair. Whereas Ruben Sandberg, the chef, was using some of his abuela's recipes. Like he was using like traditional Mexican recipes. And one thing I realized too, that it has so much in common with Cajun food, because while Cajun food, we know it to be delicious, one thing that we know about it is that, you know, it takes a lot of time. I have found it's not super hard to do. I feel like I can teach anybody to do it. And like we can sit down and like, it's really not that hard. It's just, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of patience, and it's very methodical. And I find that those are always my favorite cuisines. I find the same happens in Thai food. I find the same happens in Indian food. It's very of like, none of it's super, super difficult, but it's just very methodical, labor intensive, but it's always worth it in the end. As far as my favorite food to cook, and that like, you're talking like pure joy, oh man.
Is that gravy?
I mean, man, it just tastes like home, and I enjoy the process. You know what I mean? Gravy's probably one of them. I'd say it's a toss-up between gravy and then also like breaking down fish, like getting a whole fish in, cutting it up, breaking it down, and then like
I have never
cooking
done that.
it. Oh, it's easy. It's easy. I got you. I can teach you how to do it. If you can do one, you can do them all, unless it's like a flounder. But I can teach you how to do that too.
Awesome.
Okay, so you say it's easy now.
Yes.
I feel like that is a direct result of all of the years of experience that you have had.
Yes, but I will say, like, I don't know, I don't forget that feeling of like just like daunting, like that fear. Like I'll never forget the first day I ever worked a fire grill at Coyote Blues. I'll never forget the first red snapper that I broke down at Dark Roo. Like I remember all the first times I did these, and like I was nervous.
Well, you can mess up a lot of money. I mean, you mess up a fish.
Yeah, my first boss that I had, my first kitchen manager at Coyote Blues, I'll never forget. He was teaching me how to break down beef tenderloins so we could cut them into filet mignon. And we get whole in and trim them. And our general manager's name was Lance, and he goes, now get ready for Lance's least favorite part. It's like whenever just like cutting it all and getting all the trimming. But yeah, I mean, it's a skill, and it's something that comes with repetition, and you know, and practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect, obviously. But it's something that, I don't know, it feels like intuitive now. Once you're able to like really get like a good feel for things, everything is slightly different to some degree, but you can use those prior experiences to apply towards other things in the culinary world, and it starts to click and make sense, especially when you start building those bridges in your mind, and you're like, oh, like that aha moment.
And then you wake up one day and you're a chef.
Yeah, exactly.
A fabulous chef at that. So anyway, I want to close up, but I told you that I'd kind of talked to your dad a little bit. We're buddies, and so there's a couple of things.
I'm like, oh God.
He says,
What is
be
that?
sure to tell Sullivan that Barbara and Doc would be very proud of him. So I think that's very nice.
Y'all are going to
And
make
he
me
says,
cry on this show.
no, I'm not trying to. But he says also he's a hell of a skateboarder, but doesn't ride because he doesn't want to get hurt, which
That's
is
true.
stupid. Pad up, don't try to die, and have fun.
No,
Good advice, Dad.
I want to so bad.
Yeah, that's John.
Right.
That's my dad. That's the PG version of what he said.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a pleasure having
Absolutely,
you
it has.
with this. Thank you so much. If you haven't been to Vestal, I promise you, it is a fabulous experience. It's
Get a
always
window
good.
seat by the kitchen. You will not regret it.
Yeah, it is amazing. So I would suggest going to Vestal, and if you hadn't been there in a while, it's time to go back. So
Absolutely.
thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much for having me. I
and
really
providing
appreciate
that
it.
great food in
Absolutely.
Lafayette.
Definitely. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for joining us for the Foodies of Lafayette podcast. Thank you for our amazing sponsors for making this possible. We appreciate y'all so much. Ounce of Hope, Logic Refrigeration and HVAC.
Thank you, Logic.
Seth,
just
you
amazing.
rock.
Yeah.
Colin, you're amazing. Sunday Soda Fountain, thanks for having us. It's beautiful. We love you. And thank you,
Chris
Chris
Logan.
Logan Productions.
Let's
Let's
eat.
Make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube. And thanks again to Ounce of Hope. Use code FOODIES at ounceofhope.com for 10% off your online order. Until next time, let's eat.